Guys, when it comes to golf, how many of you know where your body's movement is in space without looking? That's what we call feel or proprioception. It's incredibly important to understand why you're not improving. You have a great coach, you're working on different things, you're looking at YouTube, you're trying to change an old pattern. Someone's improving very rapidly and the person next to them is not. If that's you, you're trying to change an old pattern, it's incredibly hard to do so. You might want to pay attention to this video. It's going to fill in a lot of blanks for you in terms of how to train. It doesn't matter what your method is, who your coach is, what you're working on. Without this key ingredient, which rests between your ears, it's going to be virtually impossible. So sit tight, make yourself comfortable. This is going to be a good one. All right, guys, for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Andrew Emery. Welcome. It's great to have you. Go ahead and press that subscribe button if you haven't already. There's a bell button next door. Click on that. You get a notification every time I release a new video. So proprioception, right? Your ability to feel what your wrist, your arms, your body is doing without actually looking at your body, right? Essentially. So if I can take my finger, for example, put it on my nose here without looking at my finger, my brain kind of knows where my nose is. I can grab the club and just take it right here and put it in both hands. I just kind of know, I have an awareness of where that is without actually physically having to look to see where the golf club is. My goodness, guys, when it comes to golf swings, this is the big challenge, you know. We try and make swing changes. Maybe we've taken a golf lesson, we understand the theme of our golf swing, right? We've been told we do this. We've also been told that we need to fix it by doing this. How do we bridge the gap between those two things, right? I mean, how do we actually get there? Not only get there, but get there on the golf course, which is even more challenging. I think there's some missing ingredients that I'd like to explain today in terms of how the brain actually works. And it's not really anything to do with golf as much as anything else. It's just learning, period, across the board for pretty much everyone. Whether you're learning to play the piano, you're learning to ski. Gosh, if you watch a child learn to take their steps for the very first time, there's nothing more magical than that. And before long, of course, they're running all over the place. If you've got educated wrists, if you have a feel for where the golf club is without actually looking at the golf club, it's going to bode very well for you. And that's what you see with elite golfers. I mean, if I want to make the ball go left with my wrists, I can make it go left with my wrists, okay? If I want to make it go right with my wrists, I can make it go right with my wrists. If I want to hit it low with my wrists, okay, I can drive it and make it go low. Conversely, if I want to hit it high, you get the picture. All right, I can make the ball go high. So educated wrists, that's where the artistry in the golf swing lies, in my opinion. Starting there is an absolute wonderful thing. Arms, of course, incredibly important for creating linear momentum. The force that's created against the grip, the movement down, the movement forward is responsible for that. Using your arms effectively. My goodness, guys, most of you, unfortunately, are tying your arms to your body and trying to spin your body to create speed, which puts a ton of tension, you know, in the joints in the back and the hips. I get a lot of comments from people that are really struggling with what they call the body swing, okay? It's really not a body swing any more than it's an arm swing. What we're trying to do here is very simply sequence the articulation of the wrist, the swinging motion of the arms, and that sort of dynamic pivoting motion of the body. And of course, everyone's coming at this from a different direction. If you hook the golf ball, you're probably going to want to use your body more dynamically. If you slice the golf ball, you're probably going to want to use your wrists and your arms more dynamically. I hope that makes sense for you hookers of the golf ball. I say, you know, I'm talking a lot about how to articulate the wrists and rotate the golf club, supinate the left wrist, right? And if you've got a very strong grip, they're like, well, why am I hooking it more? Well, you can't be standing here and adding a lot of forearm rotation if you've got an incredibly strong grip. That's not a particularly good matchup. But again, you probably don't struggle with the slice, right? So if we're talking about getting rid of a slice, the first thing we need to do, guys, is understand that we have to exaggerate the feeling of hooking a golf ball first. There's not a great golfer that's ever played the game that didn't learn at a very young age to hook the golf ball, because when you hook a golf ball and you're just a kid, you create a lot more club head speed. You may not have the control, but you create a lot of club head speed. And as you get older and you go through the junior ranks and you start to get stronger with your body, you spend the rest of your career trying not to hook the golf ball. You elite golfers that are watching this video, you understand that, okay? Unfortunately, the vast majority of you, you turn your 7-iron into an 8 or a 9-iron, and the harder you swing, the shorter you hit it, and the further the ball goes to the right. So educating the wrists and arms by starting with a little bit of a hooky release pattern is not a bad thing. It's actually a very, very good thing. Standing here with a 9-iron and hitting a little half shot, feeling the club head twist, feeling your arms swing past your body, make the ball go to the left, not by accident, but because you want it to go to the left. That's not a bad thing. That's actually a very, very good thing. All right, now here's the trick. If you want to learn anything, you need to do it slowly. You need to exaggerate it. Exaggeration is an incredibly important element. To gain an inch, you have to travel a mile. And then, of course, there's the motor learning, right? The repetition, time and time and time again to make it permanent. But unless you do it slowly and exaggerate it, those two ingredients are incredibly important. Repetition isn't really going to help because your brain isn't able to interpret what it is that you're doing. That's why so many of you taken lessons, you understand what it is that you need to do, but you're not able to translate it. You're not able to affect change, right? That's where the challenge really is. So when I work with my students here, we're going to stick with the slicer for now, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to exaggerate the feeling of the toe of the golf club turning down as it approaches the golf ball. I'm going to check out the grip to start with, right? If you've got a really weak grip, which means that your lead hand is turned under the golf club, all right, there's absolutely no way I can make that club face rotate. It makes it very difficult. So make sure that your grip is in a decent position. Grip the club to the side of you. When you look down, make sure this V is to the trail shoulder and you can see 2 to 3 knuckles on your lead hand, all right? That makes it really easy to rotate. So we've got the grip in a good position. Let's go ahead now and use our wrists. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can let the club head beat the body to impact. We're going to stall the spin phase. We're going to slow our body down in many respects and start to speed our wrists and arms up, all right? So there we go. All right, so now what I've got is my body's slowing down. I've got my wrists and arms speeding up. So I can actually feel there the club head swinging past my body. That's going to be really, really important. But the word feel is the one we need to really focus on, okay? If you're trying to acquire that skill, the skill of the wrists and arms working faster than the body, and the ball's still going miles to the right, we have a problem. We still have a problem because the body, of course, is trying to square the face. All right, that's what keeps me and many coaches in business, is the idea that the body closes the club face. Me turning my body does not close the club face. This is the big challenge, all right? So that's the job of the wrists and the arms, okay? The wrists and arms close the club face, no question. Forearm rotation is what closes the club face. And then we can use the body to support that. If things are getting a little out of control, all right, we can start to use the body a little bit more. But we need to start with the wrists and arms first. Once you start to see that ball going to the left, we can start to build the swing up. We can start to make it a little bit faster. I mean, I would stay at the same speed initially. I might do a hitchhiker drill, which is kind of a chest-high golf swing on both sides of the body, where we hinge the golf club on the way back, leveraging the golf club here, and then we unhinge the golf club, and you can see here the butt end of the club traveling towards me, the club head's getting thrown out, and at this point, we're going to send that speed home, guys, okay? Remember I talked about the golf club swinging kind of past my body for you slicers. I've got a nice reverse L past the golf ball. I feel like my arms in many respects are expanding a little bit. They're not contracting, they're not moving towards me. So then I would go ahead and have my student probably walk around the circle to the right a little bit to encourage some depth, to encourage a little bit shallower path where the club's coming more from the inside, and maybe do some of these L to L or hitchhiker drills, which I talk about a lot. But again, we're not trying to kill it here, okay? Perfect. That's right at the yellow flag. You see, I've not turned my hips through the ball. I'm not firing my chest. I'm not finishing all the way through. I'm not up on my toe. All right, I'm allowing my wrists and arms to square the club face. It's a very natural thing. I'm sure many of you used to do this. All right, there's been a big trend over the last 5, maybe 10 years that we need to kind of leave the club back here and then spin to get the club face square. And I'm just not a huge advocate of that. So many golfers I see leaving their arms behind and releasing early to play catch up. But again, your objective is to feel the golf club. Your objective is to feel this golf club. Once you start to feel it, you can start to fix your golf swing. We're going to do a little bigger swing now, and I'm going to start to allow my arms to employ my body. So again, I'm not spinning out in front of the golf ball. I'm going to exaggerate the feel of keeping my back to the target, my chest to you, and I'm going to start to feel like my arms are winning the race here and almost pulling me through the shot. So I'm going to exaggerate this, show you how it feels to me, and then I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. All right? Really exaggerate it and do it slowly. There it is. All right, so arms dropped, arms move forward, club rehinged, and then right in here, look how I'm allowing my body to respond dynamically. That's what it feels like, not what it is doing. When I actually speed my swing up, what's going to happen, very simply put here, is that as much as I feel this and this, what's going to happen is my body is going to catch up to my arms. So when I actually get in here and I'm hitting not 40%, not 50%, but I'm starting to get into a swing at maybe 70%, if I exaggerate the feeling of this, what's going to happen is, of course, it's going to look more like this, all right? The body wants to go. It's been going for years. How many of you get to the top and you can't wait to turn back to the golf ball? That isn't going to end, okay? What we've got to do is simply slow the pivot down on the way through. Don't unwind too soon. Get the arms swinging past your body, all right? And then allow your body to respond. Everything's going to be done this way, okay? I'm not looking, I'm feeling. I'm not looking, I'm feeling. That's my proprioception right there. All right, now I'm starting to feel my golf swing in its entirety. I am absolutely feeling my club head there. There's no better feeling than using the golf club the way it's designed to be used. Incredible to get the toe of the club rotating through the golf ball there. More weight in the heel, less weight in the toe. This golf club is designed to rotate, okay? Most of you are holding this compound rubber underneath your hands so tightly, you're not allowing that to happen. I'm a huge proponent of allowing the golf club to do what it's designed to do. Again, feel, slow motion, exaggerate. One more time. That's the best one. Why is it good to swing this way? Well, if you want to swing for the rest of your life, it's good to swing this way. All right, I'm not placing any unnecessary stress with adding right side bend, really trying to get my hips too open there. I consider myself an aging athlete. I'm coming up 54 years old. I know a lot of you are getting a little bit older, all right, and throwing your body at the golf ball, unfortunately, isn't making the club head move any faster. So take ownership of your swing. I hope you understand what proprioception means now as it's in relation to golf. Start to feel more than what's underneath your hands. Start to feel your club head. Start to swing the club head. Start small, making the ball go left, and then integrate your body dynamics. It's going to make the world of difference. If you think this could help, go ahead and share it. If you have a comment, I always get back to everyone. I really appreciate your comments. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope this helps. Get after it.